Hello everyone, my name is Ryan, I live in Cambodia, and I make varts not only for your entertainment, but also because there's a pervy little goblin living in my washing machine forcing me to make them. Today I'm doing something a little different. I don't really know what it is yet, I'm gonna kind of figure it out as we go along, but I'm calling it, What's Up Cambodia?
What's up, Cambodia? What's up, Cambodia?
What's up, Cambodia?
The title's either brilliant or terrible. We'll figure it out. I'll hit the streets, observing the many things happening in the streets of the Kingdom of Wonder. Sometimes they're scary, sometimes they're perplexing, sometimes they're just downright awesome. Each journey will lead me to some street food, and along the way we'll talk a little bit of culture, maybe even some current events. In this episode, I'm gonna show you a very traditional market in Phnom Penh. That one's gonna get a little graphic. There's a lot of piles of animals, so if you don't like that, there will be an option to skip it. Don't worry about that. I'll take you to Phnom Penh's fanciest area, the Central Business District, the CB motherfuckers, and I'll show you another market where I will get the cheapest breakfast I have probably ever had. Oh, and I have this, from what I can garner from the Chinese written all over it. This is self-heating coffee. I don't know, we're gonna test that out. I might end up poisoning myself. Stick around till the end of the video to find out if I die from this. Okay, let's do this, let's go. What's up, Cambodia? So we're starting things off at Orussey Market. This market is actually not that far from Central Market, but it's a very different market from Central Market. I was first made aware of this market because of its roast pigs. I mean, there's gotta be like 50 whole roast pigs here. It's a pretty cool image. I think they look delicious, but maybe they look horrifying to you. If so, then you're probably gonna wanna click to the next chapter because things are about to get a bit graphic for just a minute. This is the section of the market that deals with birds, chickens, ducks, maybe some geese. This guy has the job of washing all the bird shit out of the area. That'll be me if I move back to Canada. This pile of chickens, they're actually alive. I thought they were all dead at first, but no, they're just chilling. We got some bowls of blood over here, so if you're looking to do the carry thing at your prom, this market has you covered. Now I know all this looks bad, it's kind of horrific, but I know people in Canada that work as chicken catchers. I know someone that worked in a hot dog factory. Don't think that this isn't happening in your home country. In Cambodia, people are just more comfortable with this type of thing, so they don't try and hide it, I guess. There's no need to. I don't know. I find it interesting, even though this little walk wasn't exactly pleasant for me. Okay, moving on. Welcome back if you're rejoining us. You missed out on large piles of birds. We got some fresh honey here, straight from the comb. Look at this lady. You see this a lot in Cambodia. These guys are making little fruit pyramids. I believe they are a decorative offering to Buddha that you put in front of your altar. I'm not 100% sure on this. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain them better. These cool leaf and flower frames, maybe for funerals or just to honor a loved one. This lady is grinding up ice for vendors in the market. How badass is that? I don't know what these guys do, but some of them were hanging around drinking beer at 8:30 in the morning. I'm thinking they probably worked all night, but I don't know, maybe they're just tailgating for a Buffalo Bills game. So I saw this vendor from across the street and I had to make the dangerous cross through the traffic to try it. It's essentially the Cambodian take on Turkish food. A Donair Kebab, flatbread, with spit roasted meat in it. They use pork, which is not very Turkish at all, but they also put a bit of salad in it and some sauces. I think it was ketchup, mayonnaise, and some garlic chili sauce. This guy cost $2 and it was pretty good. The bread was fresh, the meat had kind of like a bacon-like smokiness to it. I think a bit too heavy on the condiments, but overall a pretty good street food snack and something a little different. I think it's time for a break. A coffee break. This segment, we'll call it Asian Product of the Month. I go find some wacky snack or something interesting and we test it out. Try this self-heating coffee up. I mean, my Chinese isn't great. This is all in Chinese. I do understand, I can read some Chinese. I believe it says add 400 milliliters of ice water, room temperature water, or hot water. And I'm pretty sure it is gonna turn this into some hot coffee. Jesus, this is terrifying. I think I'll go a little under 400. And lid back on. And then it says to shake it for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Oh. Doesn't feel like it's getting any hotter. Maybe this isn't self-heating coffee at all. I mean, I can't really say what made me think it is, other than keep shaking. Keep shaking, boy. Feel free to take this footage and edit in whatever you want me to be pulling like this. I don't know why I thought this was self-heating. I think I'm wrong about that. All right, it's not hot. It didn't work. Let's taste it anyway. Start your day off. It's instant coffee. This has been Asian Product of the Month. Asian Product of the Month. All right, moving on. Let's look at a more modern part of Cambodia. This is the Central Business District, the CBD. You in the CBD? Yeah, you know me. You in the CBD? Yeah, you know me. It's one of the more open spaces in Phnom Penh. Two of the tallest buildings in the country line it. I'm actually walking on a fountain right now. The big glass building is the Vatanak capital. I believe it was at one time the tallest building in Cambodia. It's 39 stories. It has a mall, restaurants, office spaces, and the Rosewood Hotel is in it. It's one of the fanciest hotels in the city. So this is where the rich folk like to hang out, I guess, which is probably why I keep getting eyed up by security guards. There's actually quite a bit of green space in this district, which is generally hard to find in Phnom Penh. This tree here is giving me some Buddhist vibes, and right across from it we have this old stupa. This thing has been here for a while. You can see what this area used to look like before it was transformed into Phnom Penh CBD. Right behind the stupa is the Royal Railway Station. It's a nice looking building, but the trains are not currently operating. They shut down when COVID got bad here, and they haven't reopened since. I think the tracks need to be repaired and there's just no money for it. But I wanted to talk about this briefly because this week Prime Minister Hun Sen was in Siem Reap for the inauguration of some new highways, and he mentioned in a speech that he's working to get high-speed trains in Cambodia. Currently the tracks are very old, so it'll take a large investment, but I mean, it would just be fantastic to be able to jump on a high-speed train in Phnom Penh and you're at the beach in an hour. It's probably a long ways out, but something to look forward to in Cambodia. But for now, let's cross this road, and even though this is a fancy area with the most expensive restaurants in the city, there is still street food to be found. You'll see these vendors all over the place. You pick out the skewers you want. I'll get some beef balls, some fish balls, some tofu, some don't know what this is. And then I hand it over to the guy, and he chops it up. Check out those scissor skills. And he deep fries it all. It comes with a baguette, which he smears with, I think, butter sweetened with sugar. And then he cuts the bread into chunks. Fried meat goes on top of it, along with some herbs and a bunch of cucumber. It also comes with a really delicious dipping sauce. It's not exactly the healthiest meal, but it's pretty damn tasty, and this whole thing here costs $2. Hey, it's me. I'm back on my balcony. This is me. Hi. So now we're gonna go with a segment called for f***'s sakes. It's time for Ryan has a sneeze fit. Oh god, that's sloppy. This is not good for a food show. Now it's time for Ryan's restaurant recommendation.
Ryan's restaurant recommendation. Cause you got shit for brains.
This is where Ryan, that's me, recommends a restaurant. I think this title's probably pretty self-explanatory. I kind of designed it that way because I know you guys are all like shit for brains. The place I want to show you today is called
ก๋วยเตี๋ยวกัดกวางเจิง
which in English means Guangzhou noodles. It's a Khmer restaurant, but it's dim sum. Guangzhou is where dim sum originated. It's located, not Guangzhou, but the restaurant, south of the Russian market. It's a pretty small place, and it gets pretty busy on weekends, but the food is good, and it's not expensive. They specialize in chang fen, which is sometimes pronounced chong fun, but they're essentially rice noodle rolls, and they also have barbecue pork buns there, char siu, har gao, all the dim sum classics. So, I don't know. Check it out if you like putting tasty things in your neck. This has been another Ryan's Restaurant Recommendations.
You got shit for brains.
Da-na-na-na-na. Okay, so for our last stroll in the video, I'm in Boeung Trabek Plaza. To be honest, I don't think it's actually pronounced Trabek. I call it that because it reminds me of Alex Trebek. Rest in peace. But for the record, this area is not named after him, and there is no statue to commemorate him here. Yet. We'll do a quick stroll through this market before I grab the cheapest breakfast I've ever had. I want to talk about wearing masks in Cambodia. As you can see, the masks are worn by pretty much everyone here. In fact, let's start a timer. Let's put a minute on the clock, and we'll see how many people are wearing masks versus how many people aren't. Masks are mandatory in public here. You can be fined for not wearing one. But right now the police seem pretty lax about the whole thing. I haven't heard of anyone getting fined. And in fact, I know people that say they walk by police every day, they don't wear a mask, and the police don't care. Recently, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that they'll start testing no masks out in smaller provinces, and if cases don't shoot up, then they'll remove the mask wearing rule entirely. Sara says that people's mouths disgust her now, and she likes that everyone has to wear masks, and she thinks you're all gross. But I say, let's stop covering all the orifices on our bodies. Let buttholes be free. Hashtag free the beehole. Okay, what else we got here? Lady scooping out guts. Oh yeah, what is this? Not a chicken, not a duck. I don't know what kind of bird that is or how she has come across it, but that's a no buy. This guy has a pretty cool genie look going on. This lady is losing fish.
What's gonna do with that?
This lady is selling breakfast the old school way from a pole that she carries around. She seems to be making up sandwiches. She's got some meatballs, some pork. Looks pretty good. But I'm looking for a particular breakfast that's filling, tasty, and cheap. This is rice porridge, also known as congee, or in Khmer, bor bor. It's rice boiled down into a silky broth and topped with some shredded chicken and some coagulated blood. I know many of you aren't into that, but I do love me some coagulated blood. All the locals I saw put a bunch of sugar on it, but I just stuck to chili paste, some of these fermented soybeans, plus some lime. I've eaten versions of this dish in Vietnam and a lot in China, but I think the Cambodian version might be my favorite. The broth is really rich with chicken fat, and the rice helps to fill you up, and it's only 75 cents for a bowl, which I think that's probably the cheapest breakfast I've ever had. I don't know if it actually is. I was just kind of saying that to get people to click on the video. But it's not clickbait. No, it's not clickbait. If you enjoy these little strolls around, then you can find these videos in their entirety, uncut, raw, uncensored, no Ryan jib-jabbering, just the sounds of the market. It's on my new channel, Walking Tour. It's Walking, W-O-K-I-N-G. It's a play on words. And yeah, you can find that, type that into the search bar. There's probably a link somewhere. I don't know. I gotta babysit you guys through everything. I mean, what do you want me to clean your nose trills for you too? Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a cluster, but what are you gonna do? Take care, comb your hair, I'm out. Damn this coffee.
Prefer when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good health. One day I'm really gon' ball. Fuck around and buy the whole mall. Breaking that cake. Flexing 700 in the bank.